When Robert Menzies founded the Liberal Party, he spoke about the forgotten people. This Liberal government just wants you to forget. Forget their failures, forget their broken promises, forget all their jobs for their mates. Make no mistake, the budget handed down on Tuesday night is not a plan for the next generation. It is a patch-up job for the next election. Remember that the centrepiece of last year's budget was JobMaker. That promised to create 450,000 new jobs. It fell short by 449,000. That's right, not 450,000, just 1,000. Missed by that much. Like so much with this government, it was all smirk and mirrors. This week, the chasm between announcement and delivery didn't even make it to budget night. Having told Monday's papers that the budget would provide $10 billion of additional infrastructure investment, the actual budget papers show a $3.3 billion cut to infrastructure over the next 4 years. A government that is all announcement, no delivery. See, for this Prime Minister, the announcement is all about him, always. The press conference, the photo op. But when it comes to the part that affects you, the delivery, he's lost interest. His only interest at that point is blaming someone else. When the black summer of bushfires raged, he said, memorably, "I don't hold a hose, mate." Now, with our tourism and education industries still locked away from the world, and with more than 30,000 Australians stranded overseas, he says quarantine is a matter for the states and getting the vaccine isn't a race. He puts out a press release threatening to put returning Australians in jail and then blames the media for reporting it. Locked out or locked up? A message no Australian government should send to our own citizens. Yeah. The Prime Minister's constant buck-passing and blame-shifting has become a handbrake on our economic recovery. The strength of our economic recovery is dependent on effective quarantine and vaccinations. But with more than a year to prepare, this government has bungled both. We should have expanded existing quarantine facilities and built new ones across the country, which are fit for purpose and located near medical and other needed support. For example, Bladen Village outside of Darwin has the potential to house up to 1,000 people and is currently being used to quarantine US Defence Force personnel. Australian citizens, of course, were promised they would be home by Christmas last year. We were also told we're at the front of the queue for vaccines, when we in fact have one of the slowest rollouts in the advanced world. Now the Prime Minister and the Treasurer can't even agree on when Australians will be vaccinated. Australia should be making mRNA vaccines here. Our Labor government will prioritise support for this production through our National Reconstruction Fund. We believe Australia can be a world-leading pharmaceutical manufacturing hub, and never again should the health of Australians be put at risk by this government's refusal to invest in manufacturing. But it's not just in his response to vaccinations and quarantine that this Prime Minister has failed the test of leadership. A once-in-a-generation march by the women of Australia in pursuit of respect and justice. Ignored. Courageous survivors, shunned and then slandered. A once-in-a-lifetime statement from the heart from the first Australians. A clarion call for truth, treaty and voice. Delayed and then dismissed. A generous statement to advance reconciliation that a Labor government will embrace and we will advocate at a referendum. The government forced into a compensation payout in excess of $1 billion to the people it hounded through robo-debt, yet now preparing for the same program of cuts and harassment for people on the NDIS. A new spirit of cooperation between unions and business, striving to improve conditions and productivity. And this government uses it to launch an assault on workers' pay, sick leave and job security. A new surge of momentum for global action on climate change. And Australia with nothing to offer. The Prime Minister literally stuck on mute in front of the world. And a government frozen in time while the world warms around it. The Liberals offer up nothing but a showbag budget, flashy enough to sell on Tuesday night, beginning to fall apart the very next day when the reality of falling real wages, vaccination confusion, infrastructure cuts and productivity inertia become apparent. Nothing built to last. No real reform, just a series of announcements to overcome political problems which the government had created.